Hey everyone, so as you can tell from the title of this video, I am making another causality video, and the reason is I ended up deleting my other video. You know, I felt as if I got a little too caught up in the pursuit of simplicity, and I didn't elaborate on a lot of points I wish I would have elaborated on. And you know, with my YouTube channel, I want to make sure I'm bringing y'all the highest quality content. And you know, I don't know, I sat yesterday and I was really thinking, I was really deep in thought about where I want my direction of the channel to be, because I really enjoy talking about these sort of things and talking about intellectual subjects and politics and the scientific evidence for things. Like, it's just really interesting to me, and you know, my initial thought is I want to share that with y'all, but at the same time, you know, I am putting this information out there, and because I'm not a scientist, right, I'm just a regular college kid that just enjoys talking about things. I really want to make sure I don't mislead anybody. I really want to make sure, especially with the things talking about God, I want to make sure I'm very solid with things that I say. And so that's the reason I deleted my causality video. It wasn't very clear, in my opinion. Plus, the causality argument is something I want to make sure I do it justice, because it is one of my favorite arguments because of how simple it is. There's not much to it, but it holds a lot of weight logically. So yeah. Ooh, let's get started. So last video we talked about if the universe had a beginning, then it must have a cause, right? And what is the cause of the universe? Well, the universe is made up of space, time, and matter, so whatever comes before space, time, and matter has to be spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. Okay, so before we go any further with that, I want to show y'all the two schools of thought. Number one being that no one created something out of nothing, and the other being someone created something out of nothing. No one and someone. Okay, it's very important that we remember these two schools of thought. And again, backing up even further, I want to explain to y'all what I mean by when I say nothing, because there's a lot of different definitions of the word nothing. For example, there's a very famous atheist named Dr. Lawrence Krauss. And Dr. Krauss wrote a book titled, let's see, I have it right here, A Universe from Nothing, Why There Is Something Rather Than Nothing. Right, so we see the word nothing already in the title multiple times. And I want to read y'all a little excerpt from his book. He says, "One of the things about quantum mechanics is not only can nothing become something, nothing always becomes something. Nothing is unstable. Nothing will always produce something in quantum mechanics." Right? So that's a pretty big topic, quantum mechanics, and we're thinking about, so whenever stuff like this arises, and this situation arises, if you're not knowledgeable of it, you need to ask questions. So in this case, you would ask Dr. Krauss this. You would say, "Dr. Krauss, what do you mean by nothing?" Well, we come to find out that Dr. Krauss's definition of nothing is not my definition of nothing, which is nada, zip, zero. When I say nothing, I mean the whole lot of nothing. There's no way else to say it. But when Dr. Krauss references nothing, as he does in his book, he actually is referring to a quantum vacuum. And let me read you the definition of a quantum vacuum right here. Quantum vacuum, very simply put, consists of fields of fluctuating energy from which particles appear to pop in and out of existence. Right, so that's a still largely unknown part of science. Many people debate the causes of why these particles seem to pop in and out of existence, but there are multiple plausible outcomes, but no one has agreed on anything yet. But what we do know is that the quantum vacuum itself isn't eternal. The quantum vacuum itself, you know, must have had a beginning at some point and therefore must have a cause. Also, on a side note, the book I'm reading from is called Stealing from God by Dr. Frank Turek. He's a really cool dude. I would really suggest you read it. He's a good read. He provides a lot of simplistic, logical arguments against atheism. And it has been a really fun read for me. But yeah, so now that we have established really what nothing means, right? So we now know that nothing means absolutely nothing. Let's go back to our two schools of thought. One being no one created something out of nothing, the other being someone created something out of nothing. So now that we know what nothing meant, we can go back to where we started. Remember the spaceless, timeless, and immaterial? Drop my book. So yeah, remember the spaceless, timeless, and immaterial. Well, in order for something to create those things, it has to be very powerful in order to create something. And it also has to be a personal agent. It cannot be an impersonal force. And what I mean by impersonal force is those are essentially what we call the natural laws. Now, the natural laws merely govern what has already been created. For example, let's see, like gravity. Gravity does not have the ability to create. Gravity just blindly does the same thing every single day. But a personal agent, on the other hand, he or she can choose to create something or do something unique. That's why it has to be a personal agent. Okay, so now that we have all these moving pieces, now we've talked about a couple things, let's kind of round them all back together, bring them in. We are left with a spaceless, timeless, immaterial, powerful, personal first cause. Now, I do not know about you, but that sounds a lot like a theistic God. Sounds very much like that second school of thought that we mentioned, the one about someone created something out of nothing. That is, in a nutshell, the causality argument. You can go and research this and find out a lot more about it, but I do want to keep it simple, even though I messed up with making it simple last time. But you know me, that's just how it is when you're new to the YouTube game. You're still figuring things out. And also, guys, thank you so much for your feedback and support on my last causality video. It really means a lot, and I really hope this video sheds some light on the questions that y'all had regarding causality. And you know, without y'all's feedback, I would have never have learned that I needed to elaborate more on the points that I was making. So always feel free to give me any sort of feedback. I really love negative feedback, actually. I actually enjoy that more than positive feedback, because it strengthens my faith as an individual, and it also helps me learn how to produce the highest quality content for y'all. But yeah, thank y'all so much again, and y'all have a wonderfully blessed day, and I will see y'all next video. Peace.